Good morning, everyone. Oh, sorry, woke you up. My name is Bob Grace. I'm delighted to be here. And I'm going to take care of just a couple of housekeeping items before we get started. First of all, most of you as you came in probably noticed the headset stand. We're going to be offering this in both Chinese and English. So please do make sure that you have it. You can give an ID card, and also my colleague Peter there is going to make a similar statement in Chinese.
各位嘉宾啊，大家下午好。我这边用中文跟大家说一下啊。那本次会议的话，我们提供同声传译服务啊。那么所以我们在门口啊，这边可以领取这个翻译机耳机。但是这个耳机呢，大家是凭大家的身份证或者是房卡去领一下。然后等一下，如果说你要离场的时候呢，不要忘记去归还，然后顺便领回你的你的身份证和房卡啊，谢谢。
Thanks, Peter. So, just make a few introductory comments, and then we'll get on with the main program. But in way of some background and really setting the table for the discussion today. First, I want to thank Doug Woodring for giving me this opportunity to be involved in the second straight Plasticity for myself. This is the 5th such event. And I'll be clear right up front. I'm not a designer, I'm not a chemist or an engineer or a recycling expert or a brand manager. So why am I here? Well, I'm a long-time observer and chronicler of the plastics industry. It seems hard to believe that it was more than 27 years ago that I helped to start Plastic News, business newspaper in the United States, when I was the editorial director there for 25 years until just recently. But what's interesting is that we're still talking about many of the same issues as we were when we started Plastics News so long ago. Regarding recycling and bioplastics and waste recovery and the image of the industry and all of these things. You'll recall, many of you, going back 20, 25 years when we had events such as the Mobro garbage barge issue where they couldn't find a place to park the ship that was carrying all the plastic waste. When McDonald's decided to dump the polystyrene clamshell burger box, which was a really big deal in terms of public image and publicity. And so there have been a number of not so positive aspects of coverage of the plastics industry, but we've also come a really long way. And for example, some of the more recent positive information just last week, Mike doesn't even know I'm going to say this, but Mike Biddle's here and he's speaking later. And the company he founded, MBA Polymers, announced last week that it has found a viable, economic, scalable way of recycling waste electronics in plastics. And they're doing that right now as we speak. It's been a very big challenge for years. So there are good things happening. Meantime, the collapse in the price of oil has led to widespread decline in virgin resin prices, which has only really complicated the discussion and the argument and the justification in many cases, business-wise, for using recycled resin. People prefer to use virgin. They understand it better. It's less complicated to have to sell to your boss. The concept of buying something that's been recycled. But that's part of our challenge here, is to help with the understanding and the communication. The point is that oil's price will go up again. There's no question about it. The question is when and all, but this will become an issue again when there's the price, again, bring the price disparity. These arguments have existed for years and years. Some are fact-based and some are purely emotional, devoid of scientific reason, but they still exist and they still happen and they still influence people, particularly the general consumers who are not reading the scientific papers. Many of you, no doubt, are familiar with the recent major report by Project Mainstream titled The New Plastics Economy, Rethinking the Future of Plastics. Project Mainstream is an initiative that leverages the convening power of the World Economic Forum, the circular economy innovation capabilities of the Ellen MacArthur Foundation, and the analytical capabilities of McKinsey. We're fortunate to have at least one of the report's authors in the room with us today, and he'll be our lead speaker. You'll be hearing more about the findings of that report as we go through the afternoon. But let me just take a moment to read directly from a passage from the preface of that report, which is in itself, the report is 117 pages. I won't read all of that. That I quote here, and this is how they set out the report. The circular economy is gaining growing attention as a potential way for our society to increase prosperity while reducing demands on finite raw materials and minimizing negative externalities. Such a transition requires a systemic approach, which entails moving beyond incremental improvements to the existing model, as well as developing new collaboration mechanisms. The report explores the intersection of these two themes for plastics and plastic packaging in particular. How can collaboration along the extended global plastic packaging production and after-use value chain, as well as with governments and NGOs, achieve systemic change to overcome stalemates in today's plastics economy in order to move to a more circular model? The new plastics economy aims to set an initial direction and contribute to the evidence base by synthesizing information from across many dispersed sources. It assesses the benefits and drawbacks of plastic packaging today and makes the case for rethinking the current plastics economy. It lays out the ambition and benefits of the new plastics economy, a system aiming to achieve drastically better economic and environmental outcomes. It proposes a new approach and action plan to get there. Finally, the report's objective is not to provide answers or recommendations, but rather it aims to bring together for the first time a comprehensive global perspective of the broader plastic packaging economy, present a vision and propose a roadmap, as well as a vehicle for progressing this roadmap and providing a much-needed global focal point to carry this agenda forward. This report also identifies a number of significant knowledge gaps and open questions that need to be further explored. So that's the end of the quote regarding part of the intro to that significant new addition to the discussion. So it's this topic, the circular economy and the future of plastics, that brings us all together today. Doug recently referred to Plasticity, this event, as, quote, the Olympics of plastics-related circular economy discussions, and I have to agree. We have gathered here some of the world's best and brightest and most motivated when it comes to effecting positive change, leveraging available knowledge and technologies, and finding scalable solutions to the vexing problem of plastic waste. Change can happen at many levels. As an example, I recently interviewed, actually by email from India, a Dutch designer, 27 years old, who has just advanced his ideas for and invested about 40,000 euros to develop a simple modular recycling machine that he designed so that it could be made by people like you and me out of commonly available materials anywhere in the world. And then he put it all online for free, open source. So you can go and download one file that contains folders of 154 files with CAD drawings, materials, instructional videos, and all. It's called preciousplastic.com. And this is just a small sample. This is one person doing what he can do. Obviously, it's not going to make much of a dent in the world's plastics waste problem, but I think it's an inspiring example of how smart and motivated individuals can indeed make a difference. But just think how much can be achieved when all of us in this room, in our collective and extended networks of connections, truly collaborate and work toward finding ways to implement a true circular economy. So we can take important steps forward on this journey today, as well as in tomorrow's half-day sustainable design workshop that we're pleased to offer as a valuable first-time addition to Plasticity. Our partners in that interactive workshop are CBI China Bridge, Successful Design Organization, and Green Initiative. And we have representatives from them here today, and I encourage you to connect with these groups and their talented teams. If you were unaware of this workshop, or have only just realized that you're capable or able to attend tomorrow morning, and it's not at this location, it's in Shanghai nearby, then we need you to go to the registration desk and sign up so that we have your name on file and we have our numbers correct. And we need you to do that before lunch today. So please, if you're interested, go to the registration desk and ask about the Circular Economy Green Design Workshop tomorrow. But enough from me, so let's get this started. I warmly welcome you to the 5th Annual Plasticity Forum here in the dynamic city of Shanghai. Please note that we intend to shoot individual videos of each presentation so that you can send this information to your contacts around the world after the event and help to spread the word about what was discussed here today. Those videos, once they are ready, will be posted on the event website at plasticityforum.com. And I'm sure you'll be getting an email from Doug when they're ready, and you can go there and view them or share them, hopefully. So now, I'm delighted to introduce Doug Woodring, the man who created Plasticity, and 5 years on has built it into the unique and much needed discussion forum that it is today. Based in Hong Kong, he's worked in Asia for 20 plus years in a number of industries that have been at the forefront of technology within their sectors, mainly related to the environment and to new media platforms. Doug's also the co-founder of the Ocean Recovery Alliance, which focuses on bringing innovative solutions, technology, collaborations, and policy together to impact positive improvements for the health of the ocean. That organization is now one of the first NGOs to be working with both the United Nations Environment Program, or UNEP, and the World Bank on their respective ocean programs aimed at reducing plastic pollution in our environment. After first launching Plasticity at the Earth Summit in Rio, Doug is now staged it in Hong Kong, New York, Portugal, Shanghai, and as you'll learn today, we're planning to take it to London this fall. Actually, the first time we'll do 2 in 1 year, and in September as part of London Design Week. Now, on to the main event. It's my pleasure to introduce you to Doug Woodring.